In today's Community Focus, we're talking about Distracted Driving Awareness Month with AAA today. Joining us now, live via Zoom, Diana Gugliotta, Senior Manager of Public Affairs for AAA Northeast. Thanks for joining us at 4 today.
Thanks so much.
As we know, April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and we're talking about all types of things that can distract us behind the wheel. Texting, of course, but also using the GPS, maybe finding music on our phone, applying makeup, eating a meal. So, Diana, how dangerous are these behaviors?
Well, they're dangerous enough where there were an average of 9 lives lost every day in 2019, which is the last year that we have full data for from the National Traffic Highway Safety Administration. You know, it's still very much a public health crisis, not necessarily the public health crisis top of mind for everyone, of course, this year, but it's very, very problematic. You know, just locally here in southern New England, we lost 35 people in 2019 as a result of distracted driving.
So obviously the big question then is, how does this get addressed? How do we fix the problem?
I think there's some really simple things that we can do. Of course, it's very much an addiction. We are so addicted to technology, but something as simple as going into the settings on your cell phone and using the do not disturb driving setting. If you have a passenger in your vehicle, have them do the Google search for you or plug something into navigation. And surveys show us that 90% of drivers will put down the phone if they're asked to by their passenger. So I think we have a lot more power than we realize as passengers. We would never dream of getting into a vehicle with someone who's drunk or impaired by drugs. But, you know, those sneaky cell phones, they pop up, and often as passengers, we're a little more hesitant to speak up. We need to start doing that.
I like that. That's a good, I hadn't thought of it that way. What does your data show in terms of ages? You know, is distracted driving a young person problem, or are we all part of the issue here?
It's very much an everybody problem. 16 to 44 really look the worst, to be honest. A lot of, professionals are very much addicted to their devices, trying to work, read emails, unfortunately write emails. But for the younger group, there's sort of a disconnect. They will often say, I'll never text and drive, but they'll be filming themselves while they're driving. They're posting stories on their social media channels while they're driving. So there's a disconnect. And unfortunately, I think we use the word texting for too long as it related to distracted driving, because there's so many other distractions that we need to be concerned about.
That is certainly true. Our devices do much more than just text nowadays. AAA just published a report today about drivers who use alcohol and marijuana. What were the findings of that study?
Yeah, so every year AAA conducts a traffic safety culture index survey, and we found that folks that self-reported using both alcohol and marijuana in the last 30 days were also much more likely to speed, to run red lights, to text and drive, to drive aggressively. Marijuana is, of course, a growing problem on our roadways, especially as states are starting to legalize recreational marijuana, and it's something that we're working very hard to educate more motorists about.
And does AAA have a stance on whether or not recreational marijuana should be legalized? I know it's something that's being considered in Rhode Island right now.
It is, and our stance is that we need to really work hard on policies to be smart, to get ahead of this. We need more drug recognition experts on the roadways. And when I say, policies, I also mean looking at, we have 79 certified drug recognition experts right now in Rhode Island. How are they divvied up among all of the municipal police departments, state police? Is there a DRE on every shift? We need to take a hard look at those issues.
And Diana, we have about 30 seconds, but what can you comment on in terms of life getting back to normal? More people are going to the office, more people on the road. What is your office worried about, or what's your message to folks to keep in mind?
Keep your frustrations in check. Keep your road rage in check. Try to be very patient. We saw 2020 as a horrible year. Although we saw a 17% decrease in vehicle miles traveled, we saw an increase in fatalities. So please be patient as you return to work and school.
Certainly always good advice, whether you're on the road or off the road. Be patient, be kind. Diana Gugliotta, the Senior Manager of Public Affairs for AAA Northeast, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.